It's time. Time to get inspired and empowered. To realize it's never too late to create your next amazing story. Get ready to break through, transform, and start living the life of your dreams. So, are you ready? Truly ready to begin your journey to create your next amazing story in life and love? Great. Let's jump in with your host, life and love transformational coach, Suzanne Oshima.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the It's Never Too Late show. I love that title. My name is Michelle Ann Owens, and guess what? I am your guest host today. I'm so excited and super honored that the Ms. Awesome, wonderful Suzanne Oshima asked me to do this. We decided to flip the script a little, turn the tables, mix it up, and give Suzanne, life and love transformational coach at Your Next Amazing Story, the opportunity to be interviewed and to share her expertise and her incredible tips for navigating love and life as an older, midlife, fabulous woman that we all are. So before we dive in, you have to know, I'm sure you know this already, Suzanne is an expert in the coaching field. She's super passionate about helping women like us to figure everything out and to truly transform our lives. We all have personal obstacles, barriers that we need to overcome. And Suzanne has her own personal transformational story that she has on her website. I really encourage you to go and check that out. It's at yournextamazingstory.com because you'll be inspired by it. And then you'll see why she's such a good coach for all of us to help us figure out our stuff. So with no further ado, the topic of the day that we're going to talk about is, drum roll please, how to meet a quality man over 40. That's right. That's what I said, quality man. So we're going to get into that. And you're going to find out that you're not alone. You're not alone at all. And you're going to walk away with some great tips from the amazing Suzanne Oshima. Welcome.
Aw, well, thanks so much, Michelle. I am so excited to flip the script, like you said. I was a little nervous at first, but I think this is going to be really great because, like you said, I am so passionate about helping women and helping them realize that it's never too late to hit reset and start over in life and love. And, quite honestly, it breaks my heart when women say, oh, it's too late for, I'm like, no, it's not too late. And
Never.
so, you and I are going to empower and inspire these women to really get back on the horse and keep going.
Absolutely. And you even helped me sometimes, the other day when we were just sort of talking about doing this, I mentioned something that was going on with me and I was like, oh my gosh, what a great opportunity. So I'm excited to have everybody hear what you've got to say and to share all those tips that we were talking about. So why don't we dive right in? To
Yeah,
how to
let's.
be a quality man. So before we even dive into how to do it, what is a quality man in your opinion? What is the definition of a quality man?
Well, I think that for every woman, that definition is going to be something different. But I'll give you some basic parameters that every woman can take into account when they're looking at a man to see if he's the right man for her. And number one is the values, the common values. And for every woman, that's going to be something different. For some women, religion is very important, and for some women, it's not. So that's going to shift, right? For some women that are in their early 40s still want to have children, so they're going to have to make sure they align with a man that still wants to have children. And for some women that are older in their 50s and 60s, they're like, I'm done. I don't want any more children. So the values thing is going to be different for every woman, but it's important to get clear on that. Then the things that I find that are most important are not chemistry and attraction. And the reason why I say that is because I see way too many women get blinded by chemistry and attraction, and that is not the most important thing. The
Right.
most important things are how he treats you, how he makes you feel. Do you feel safe and secure and protected?
Mm,
Right.
that's huge.
And Yeah, and because I have seen, and I'm guilty of this too, by the way, is getting blinded by chemistry and attraction, and then those other important things are missing in the relationship. But you think it's a great relationship because there's so much chemistry and attraction, right?
Totally, totally. Like you said, blinded by the light, you know? It's like you can't, you're like, "Whoa." And that's all you can think about. And then you sort of justify all those other things, right? You're like, "Well, it's fine. We get along so well. We have a great time every time we get together. The sex is great," like that kind of thing. And you tend to sort of like downplay all of the other things that really are important to you. And later on down the line, and I imagine your clients find this, they get resentful of those things that are missing.
Yeah, it's really funny that you say that because in the beginning stages of dating, you're right, is when there's so much chemistry and attraction, you kind of ignore the little things that are missing. Like, oh, well, he said something a little snide to me, but I just brushed it to the side. And then later on, that little snide remark turns into he's condescending or he's verbally abusive, right?
Right.
So it's important not to ignore those yellow or red flags in the very beginning because you're right. Later on down the road, you start to like do this reality check, and you're like, "Oh my God, he doesn't have it," and then you're mad at him, and then you try to change him into something that he's not.
Yeah.
And then he's angry because he's like, "Oh, she's just trying to change me," and men hate that.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. So I think as far as the process is concerned, when you're talking with a client and you're taking a look, okay, what is quality to you? What do you find are the most common ones? Is it the religious factor? Is it money? Is it how they are treated? Or is it more about how much money he makes in terms of like how successful he is? Or if he owns a house? Or all of those kind of checklist things? What do you find is most common?
Well, I think the most common one is that, especially as women get older, because we're all established in our career and we're at a certain income level and we're used to that, right?
Mhm.
And so when we look at men, we're like, they either have to be at the same level or above. We don't want someone that's below. And I know some people are going to say, oh, she's just looking. No, that's not it. Is we don't want to support you. We've worked hard enough for our career and our living that, at least be at our same level or above,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Or be working towards that,
Right.
actively, and not just have it be like a pie in the sky kind of dream. Like someday I'll be this.
Well, and if you think about it, in midlife, men in midlife, he should be pretty established in his career by now. It shouldn't be, oh, someday I want to start my own business. It's like, okay, if you're in your 50s or 60s,
Yeah, that's a
do it
problem.
now. There's no
Well,
time like the present.
the funny thing is that there are men out there who still live with their parents and they're in their 40s and 50s. Which are
Okay, I
really
haven't
good.
met any of those yet, but that says a lot. But you know what I always say to people before we judge a man for living with his parents still, if he does, right? Or judging him for anything is to find out their story. Everybody has a story, a
Mhm.
background story. You never know what could have happened, or he may be in a temporary situation, but
Sure.
find out the story before we judge him.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's a reality, everybody out there. Don't get mad at me. So, all right, here's a big question. I think some women have been through so many troublesome relationships and they get to a point where they feel like, is there even a quality man out there for me? Does he even exist? So, when your clients come to you and they say, do they even exist, Suzanne? Like, do you think I'll ever find this, or is this like a fruitless attempt should I just settle on something and just get some of the things on my checklist?
I would say it begins from within. And that, what I mean by that is, do you believe it that there are quality men out there? Because a lot of times when I do live webinars, I'll pull my audience and I'll ask them, do you believe that there's quality men out there? And a lot of times women will say no. And so it doesn't, if you're not believing it first within you, then that's the little seed that is going to grow into there are no quality men. I have horrible dates. There's no good men out there. And so let's shift our thinking in yes, there are quality men. And I will share with the ladies is that I have helped plenty of women from their 40s to my eldest client was a young 74 find
Oh,
love
awesome.
again. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it is possible, but I will tell you the common denominator with all of these women was that they believed, number one, that there was quality men out there, but number two, they also believed in themselves and that they could find love too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's such a big thing. That's manifestation. That's a manifestation technique, right? Changing your mindset and thinking, I can have this, right?
Yeah.
So I would imagine that that sort of, spirals beyond finding a quality man over 40 into a lot of your coaching principles. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so funny that you say that is, it's not I could give you dating tips and advice all day long, and
Yeah.
so can any other coach out there, but what a lot of people don't realize, it begins from within and it first starts with your mindset. If that's off, it doesn't matter the dating tips and advice
Right.
I give you or anybody else.
Yeah, you'll automatically attract the wrong people to you, automatically,
Yeah.
I think. So, all right, let's talk about some tips on meeting these quality men. Where should women go? Should they go to a dating app? Should they go to the local bar?
Well, what I find is that women in midlife are no longer doing the bar scene because we did that in our 20s and 30s, right?
Yeah,
And while it was fun in our 20s and 30s, in midlife, that's not really the place we want to be to meet
agreed.
quality men. It's not to say that you can't, you can. But
Mhm.
I find more often than not, women don't want to do the bar scene anymore.
Yeah. Unless it's
So,
a
what
wine bar, a nice wine bar with some good cheeses.
Yes, exactly, because then you'll get more quality men.
Yeah.
Um, but what I always say, because it's so funny. I think it's the number one question that I get asked all the time is, where can I meet quality men? And it's so funny because I'm like, actually, it's not exactly, they're all around you every single day, wherever you are, but you're just so closed off and stuck in your routine and have horse blinders on that you're not looking around you and noticing people because we're just going about our regular day and then we turn it on and off. And I
Mm,
believe that you should not turn it on and off, that you should turn it on all the time and notice men around you wherever you are. That's the first
okay.
tip.
Okay. And what else do you think would make sense for a woman in her midlife? Is it activities like certain clubs or things that you're interested in, hobbies, that kind of thing? Because for me, that would be live music. I love live music. So for me, it's like I'll automatically have great things to talk about with men I meet when I'm at a live music show, And so that's my personal thing, but I'm sure women out there have other things that they love to do.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up because I always say that is to pick something what I call double duty is doing something that you love and then add in trying to meet people. And quite honestly, I think we need to really let go of trying to meet the right man at wherever we go because that puts so much pressure on yourself that when you don't meet the right man, then you go home disappointed. I
Yeah.
say just open up your energy and just try to meet new people wherever you go,
Yeah.
whether it's men or women, because whenever I go to things by myself, and when I first started doing that, I used to get really scared. And then as I started to, I meet people now. And I've met people, whether it's going to lunch or I've gone to concerts by myself, and I've met so many people.
Yeah. Yeah, I love doing that too. And that's also something that I think older, fabulous women like us, we're not afraid. We can do it. I think younger people are less secure and they need to have their friends around them and all of that kind of stuff. So I think that that's a great way to go out. So I'm totally into that idea. So I want your opinion though on online dating. So if
Mhm.
you're not going to be at an event or going out by yourself, what do you think about the women who maybe they have such a busy career that they don't have time except to get on an app and or have a dating matchmaker work for them?
So, online dating is actually a great way to meet men, quality men too. A lot of
Okay.
women think that it's not. It actually is. And I'm basing this not off of just me saying it. It's actually, I've done research on this. So I
Okay.
actually have statistics that I'm going to share with women.
Awesome.
Is Yeah, so there was a study that was published at the end of last year that said the number two way to meet the right man is through online dating. The number one way, which I found really interesting because personally, I don't think it's the best way, and that was friends and family. And the
Mm.
reason why I don't think it's the best way, I don't know about you, Michelle, but anytime friends or family have tried to set me up it's like, why did you even think that we had anything in common, or why did you think that I would even like this man? It's hilarious.
And then they get upset if it doesn't work out the way that they hoped it would in their own mind. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the crazy wedding stories when people are getting married and then the in-laws suddenly are fighting about what they want at the wedding for the food and for the drinks, and you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like they get too involved. So I'm with
Yeah.
you on that one. But that's good to know that it's the second best way to meet men. So give me some tips, give the ladies out there some tips on dealing with a dating app, because one of my good friends is actually, she's using one right now, and she's afraid that some of the men on there are just like fishing, because there was one in particular who kept asking for her picture over and over and over again. And she was like, what is this? Like, did he not hear me?
Mm.
You know, I mean, so it was like just like weird. How do you navigate those little strange things that may happen on an app?
Can I ask what app she was on?
It was Okay Cupid.
Ah, okay. So first let's talk about well, yeah, that's a little weird. Okay, so I'm going to tell the difference between some of the dating apps and which ones are
Okay.
the better ones and which
Okay.
ones are the crappier ones. And
Okay.
then we could get into when men do weird stuff like that.
Okay.
So number one is there's two types of dating sites: the paid ones and the free ones, right?
Mhm.
And what I always say to women is if a man is not willing to invest in finding love and paying a monthly fee, and that goes for you too, ladies,
Yeah.
is how serious do you think he really is about finding the right woman? Or is he just fishing?
Yeah.
And there's one site that has the word fish in it. I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
we
Yeah. I
all know what that is. And I will tell you that is the worst site out there. It's
know.
the
Okay.
worst site. Most of my clients, and I've been doing this a long time, have said they never get anything off of there. So I will tell you that. But what I always recommend to my clients is one paid site and one free site, but not plenty of fish. The main paid site that is honestly the best site is match.com. It
I knew you
has
were going
the
to say that.
biggest database, and and you want to go where the biggest database is because it gives you a it widens the pool of what type of man you might meet. That's number one. And I will say, I'm going to share with you guys this statistic. I would say of my clients that have found love and have gotten married or are just in a relationship, I would say the ones that are using apps and online sites, 90% of them have met someone on Match.
Wow.
That's the site that comes up over and over.
Wow. That's a high
Um,
percentage.
yeah, it is. And I know, some ladies will say, I hate online dating, it doesn't work. And I always say to them, it's actually not the site. It's actually your profile. If you are not getting the results that you want, it means your profile needs a serious makeover. And
Yeah.
it sounds brutal to say that, but it's the truth. And I used to own an online dating site, so I can look at someone's profile and tell exactly why they're not getting results. And it's not just about the type of photos you put up, but it's also the order you put them in. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah. So like get rid of that picture of you like laying on a Corvette hood from 20 years ago.
Well, hopefully nobody
Pull that
has
one
that.
off.
But I will tell you one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of women make now is they're so covered up, whether it's they have a hat on or sunglasses, which are blocks. It
Uh-huh.
means you're hiding. And so it's important to have your hair and makeup done. Just like Michelle and I in this video show,
Oh,
we
yeah.
did our hair and makeup for this video show, and we don't do this all the time, right, Michelle? Like,
Heck no. I'm usually in a bun and my eyeglasses.
I know. And so if I'm not videotaping, I don't do my hair and makeup. Well, it's the same thing with online dating. You got to do some pictures where you show up fully done, because you want to show a man how you would show up on a date. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of women don't like to do that, but that's the number one thing, is the pictures are the most important. And then the essay, but I will tell you the photos are most important.
Okay.
But
Yeah, well, for sure, because men are visual beings too. They're going to look at your
yeah,
pictures first. So,
exactly.
well, I was just going to say, what do you think about as far as the photos are concerned? I know a lot of women use those filters and all of those kinds of things. And I've heard male friends of mine complain that once they finally meet the woman in person, she doesn't look like her photos. So, do you help your clients also sort of like manage that balance of like maybe one glossy photo that you look amazing and then some others that are just more casual, maybe with some friends and things like that? Is that your approach to it?
You know, it's a tough thing, and I do notice that with women in mid-age, we're all starting to get, lines here or there, and we're
Sure.
like, "Oh God, where did that come from?"
I love my
And
jowls. My new gels are amazing.
embrace it. I
Yeah.
know it's so hard because we're starting to see lines where we didn't see them before. But
Mhm.
here's what I always tell women is that minimal retouch, minimal. When I
Yeah,
say minimal, I mean, okay, if you have a zit in one of the photos or something looks really off, that's what I mean. I don't mean doing the full retouch,
yeah,
because you're right. Like your male friends were sharing, it's like she shows up, but she's not exactly who she showed up in those pictures. So
yeah,
you have to have some reality there,
yeah.
right?
So, what is your opinion on now? I've been on a bunch of dating apps. I've used a lot of different types, and what I find is I'll set an age, uh, not a barrier, but like a range, right? So from 35 to 50 is my range, but I'll still get hit up by people way below 35. Because I look a little younger than my age. And so I tend to get like men in their 20s and 30s sending me messages. What is your opinion for your clients and for the women out there who get hit up by younger men and they're super hot and there's attention being given? Is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea? Is it a case by case basis? How do you navigate that when you're getting attention from younger men?
That's a great question. My answer to that is, what do you want? Because for every woman that's different, and some women like younger men, some women like older men. I think it all depends on where you're at. But I think what's most important, if you're going to date younger men, there is a risk factor. I'm not going to lie. And the risk factor is this: if you don't get clear on what you're both looking for, you may find that he's looking for something completely different for the long term than what you're looking for. And
Right.
so we can't ignore that. Right. Is so when you first start dating, like how we talked about earlier, the chemistry and attractions going and it's all like
Yeah.
great, which is fun in the beginning, but then 6 months down the road, now you're super emotionally attached. You're like, oh my God, I love this man.
Yeah.
And maybe you are looking for marriage, right? Wanting to get married again. And you may find out that that's not what he's looking for at all. He's like,
Right.
I still want to have fun. I want to go travel the world and
Yeah.
backpack it. It can be totally different. So it's
Right.
what's more important is to find out if you're both aligned and that you're on the same path going the same direction. Not
Mhm.
you're on the same path now, but he's going to go this way and you're going to go this way, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think that that's part of the conversation that you should have in the early dating phase, right? And
Yeah.
bring up those things. If the guy freaks out about those types of questions, then he's probably not the right guy for you, right? I mean, if you had
Exactly.
really been out of shape about it, because I have done that where I've asked questions and like, hey, so, do you ever want to get married again? Or have you ever been married? Or do you have kids? And like, those are questions that I normally ask. And some men get weirded out by it. Like they feel funny that you're interviewing them in order to see if they're a viable partner for you, or you're already projecting into the future that you're going to marry them. And so they get freaked out.
Well, you know what I say? It's all in how you ask. And yeah, if the man feels like he's being interrogated, of course he's gonna be like, "Oh God, why is she
Like,
asking me all these
I,
questions?"
I am an interviewer.
Right? So what I always say is, you got to do it at the right time. It can't be like question after question.
Right, right, right.
It's about sharing where you're at and what you're looking for, and then kind of saying, "Well, what are you looking for?"
Yeah,
Just curious.
yeah. And then how do you help your clients navigate? Let's say they have already caught feelings for somebody, but some of those future things do not align. Is it a matter of ending it? Do you recommend that they do their best to ease away from that relationship? Or is it something that you think can be worked on if your client really feels strongly about it?
It depends. That's really on a case by case basis because it's not only taking into account the client and where she's at and what she truly wants, but also looking at the individual man himself and where he's
Right.
at and what's going on in his life. Because sometimes when I dig a little bit deeper when I'm working with the client, is I'll ask more questions about the man and finding out where he's at,
Okay.
and she'll tell me certain things that she thinks are completely innocent, but from what I know when working with both men and women is certain things she'll say, like if she says something about his career and maybe his income is really unstable in his business and he's really a wreck about, the business could fail, I can tell you right now that he's not going to change his mind until he gets his career and business stable, because men first have to have that stable.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that's a tough one if you're already in love, you know? So I don't know, maybe not give it up too soon.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly why it's important to find out that earlier, because once you're already in love, that I never tell a client to leave a relationship. That's up to a client,
Yeah,
but you have to take a step back and say, are my basic needs being met in this relationship? And are we on the same path to where I want to be 6 months, a year from now, or 2 years from now?
yeah,
And if the answer is no, as much as it would kill you or hurt you and break your heart to move on, sometimes you have to cut your losses early, right?
yeah, absolutely. Whew, that's a lot to think about. I'm sure some ladies out there are also like, "Ooh." Thinking. So, are there any final thoughts or takeaways that you want to share with the ladies out there who are either listening or watching?
I would say never give up. And if you truly want to find love, it's number one is about believing that you can and will find love. And if you're feeling afraid, because I find a lot of times that women in midlife can feel like afraid, like I don't know what to do. And so there's almost like procrastination going on, or also a fear of moving outside their comfort zone to figure out what to do. And what I always say is, you know what? If you're feeling that afraid, it's important to get that support that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us more about your coaching services, how people can find you if they are interested in working with you for their own situation. Not just about meeting a quality man over 40, but all of it, life and love.
Yeah. So, ladies, if you would like to find me, you can go to yournextamazingstory.com.
Awesome. All right. Suzanne, again, so honored that you asked me to do this with you and to have you have the opportunity to share more about what you do best. And thank you for sharing all this great information with us. Everybody out there, thank you also for joining us to the It's Never Too Late show. I, again, love that title. If you want to watch it, you can do so. You can also listen to it in podcast format. Just go to yournextamazingstory.com and you can find them there. Until next time, everybody, thanks again, Suzanne. Have a great day.
Love today's episode of the It's Never Too Late show? Then head on over to yournextamazingstory.com to continue the conversation, get access to show notes, and get more amazing content.